Hello, and welcome to this episode of the Violet Maynard Show. Today we're going to be meeting a family from Zanesville, Ohio. The artist that you just heard singing How Great Thou Art is Kendra Kent, and her parents are here with us today, Larry and Michelle. So welcome to the Violet Maynard Show.
Thank you for having us.
Thanks for being here, Kendra. I tell you, that's one of the most beloved songs there are today, and you do a fabulous job on that. So thank you for sharing that with us today. So today we're going to learn about their ministry, how it got started, and where they are, and how you can reach this family if you're interested in having Kendra come to one of your concerts, one of your church services or events that you have going on. She's got a lot going on in her life, and dealing with singing and acting and lots of wonderful things that are going on. And we'll share that with you today. We'll also share with you their testimony, which is fabulous. I heard that while speaking with her dad, Larry, when I met them, and it just touched my heart, and this family has just really been a blessing to us, and I know that they will be a blessing to you. So Kendra, we'll start with you. And she was telling me earlier that she gets a little nervous talking, but I think she'll do a fabulous job for us today. And so I know a few things about you as we were talking when we met a little while ago. And I'll just tell the folks how we met you. We were doing a sing in Cambridge, Ohio, and we were booked to sing there, and they had an open mic segment prior to the concert, and my husband and I arrived, and we opened the doors of our vehicle, and we heard this angelic voice coming, and this pianist playing, and we thought, we've got to find out who this is, and sure enough, it was this young lady right here, Miss Kendra, and she was just doing a fabulous job, and it was on my heart. I've got to book her for some of our events, and she is going to be working with us in some of the events that we host. We're very excited about that. I know everybody that will hear her and see her in person will absolutely love to hear her and her ministry. So tell me about some of the things that I know that you're involved in. I know you just recently did a Christmas concert, and your mom might be able to tell us a little more about that. But as far as, one of the things that really impressed me at your young age, that you are the worship leader, music worship leader at your church. Is that correct?
No, I am not the worship leader, but I do help out.
So you help out with
Yes.
it, okay. So you sing and play during the service?
Yes.
Do you lead the songs? Tell us a little bit about what your involvement in that is.
Well, I lead the songs, most of them, and then
Okay.
they join in with it, of course.
Okay.
But I don't necessarily pick them out all the time. But sometimes I will, and other times he'll lead it. But
Okay.
I guess sometimes I can lead.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. What are some of the songs that you do for your worship service? I'm sure there's lots of them. I know when you do leading of services, you have lots of songs that you do.
Joe's and the
Okay.
St. Patty's, and of course, like In the Presence, of course, I love that one.
Okay.
But
So there's quite a few that you
Yeah.
do. Those are some of
it's
your
just so
favorite
many,
artists,
like,
right?
Yeah, favorite artists, Carrie Joe.
Okay, great. And you mentioned Sandy Patty.
Yes,
She's fabulous
Sandy
as
Patty.
well. So, okay. And then you play the piano then for the song portion of the worship
Yes,
service?
yes.
Okay. All right, great. So you work, and I think you have a band, right? You have some other musicians that play with you?
Yes, we have
Okay.
Pastor is the bass guitarist.
Okay, and who's the pastor of your church?
Pastor Jim
Jim
Peters.
Peters.
Sorry, Jim
Jim
Peters.
Peters.
I put her on the spot there. I didn't tell her what I was going to ask her.
Pastor.
I have a pastor, right?
Yes.
That's wonderful. So everybody really gets involved in the music part of your
Yes,
service.
yeah.
So that is really wonderful. Okay, well, I know that you are starting to do more concerts. As I said, you're going to be involved in some of the concerts that we host. And so I know you have a wide range of styles that you enjoy as well, because I know How Great Thou Art, so that's considered probably Southern Gospel, more of a hymn. I've heard you do contemporary, which is, you do a fabulous job. So everything I've heard you do, I'm really impressed with your music and with your ministry. And one of the things that, as I mentioned earlier, that really impressed me is that I know that you have been ill recently. And how long have you been singing? I think you told me a little bit earlier.
It says about 7.
7. Okay, so you've been singing for quite a while. So you've always had an interest in singing, but probably being led into this ministry, everybody enjoys singing, but to be involved in a ministry, that takes God leading the direction. And I think your dad and you had shared with me when we were at the concert, and Larry, if you'd like to answer this question, or Kendra, whoever, Mom, feels comfortable doing this, tell us a little bit how this ministry got started, where we're sitting at today, where we're having an interview with you, you're starting to do more concerts, but I know this illness that you had and a part. You know, a lot of times we go through things, and that's how God directs us, things that we are, you know, living in our life. So if you'd like to start, and then they can chime in, or just lay on your, you know, whatever God lays on your heart to tell us, to share with us, and how your ministry got started from a 7-year-old enjoying singing to now expanding in your ministry.
I think a lot of it goes back, probably, she got on the worship team here,
Okay.
in Zanesville, and had a lot of, there were several people in the band that helped out, really backed her up, kind of, you know, give her the little scooch when she needed it. And then, actually at some point, we decided some of the church members wanted her to compete in the state competition with the Assembly of God. She placed first in that in Dayton. She was 13, I think, at the time.
14
at the time. So that was kind of nice, a little reassurance that, hey, you know, people appreciate what she's doing. And then from that it led, we actually went to the national competition in California.
Wow.
And that in itself isn't the start of our ministry. I mean, I think that's the roots of it.
Okay.
You know, the competition's not really her thing.
Okay.
But she did well there, placed second out of 130, 140, 150. I thought it was 150
That's
people.
great.
So to place second, again, is a little reassurance. So it started building a little confidence, I think. But things kind of fell apart at that point, and that was the tough part. When we came back from California, she began to have problems. So those problems, she lost 60 pounds in 6 months, probably 4 months, maybe?
4 months.
4 months, 60 pounds. And it wasn't something we were trying to do.
Right.
She was having troubles, some pain and so forth with this. And through all of that, though, her singing, I think, kept her up.
Kept her alive.
Kept her alive.
Yes.
It kept her alive. And the Lord was with her, and she knew that.
Yes.
So it was powerful because I think, you know, you start back with those who wanted to help her in her ministry, which was people at a new church, brought her in, saw that she had some talent, felt that they would try to foster that, and they did. They fostered it, pushed her a little bit into a competition she might not be comfortable with, but that gave her confidence.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
So I think that was the beginnings of it. You agree?
Yeah.
I'm good. Good, I think so. I mean, like you said, it goes back to 7 years old. It was in a church, and that was my home church, and she stood up in front and sang, and her bare feet.
Yeah, there you go. That's all right.
And she sang a cappella and did an excellent job. Several people came up and said, "Well, you have to nurture this girl. This is a talent that she needs to use for God." And several of those people, unfortunately, have passed on. So it even means that much more to us. I know when we see her go out and perform, she's performing. Others who fostered that, she's performing for them as well.
So the seed was planted by those folks giving her encouragement, and now you're able to, take them with you. I think that's wonderful. That is really wonderful.
I don't want to say everything.
No, that's fine.
Mom knows much better.
Mom doesn't.
Yeah.
I know Mom. We were talking a little bit earlier. You flip through quite a bit of, anytime that it's one of your children. Of course, I have children as well. But when you see your child suffering, that makes life really
Tough.
Yes. And then I know we were talking that you were seeing God working through this, and I know at one point that you were telling me that you just went in and prayed and cried and tell me your thoughts and how you feel about what you see. This is all unfolded right before your eyes. Where this again, we keep talking this, but 7-year-old with a desire, and then people fostering her and giving her encouragement to having to go through this illness. And I know when we go through things, you're seeing this great thing come from this young lady, but you're also seeing this suffering. And so this all unfolded in front of you, and what we're seeing now. Give us your thoughts, or what God has laid on your heart about this whole situation, and how we got here, and as a mom, how you dealt with it, and how you encourage someone else, knowing when your child is ill, but you see God also working great things in their life.
Well, it's easier now to look back, because going through it at the time, yes, I had several moments where I questioned God, how can this be happening to a child who's been called to minister to his people?
Right.
So at the time, it's hard, and trying to stay focused on what he's brought her here to do, and not so much on the illness.
Right.
was really tough for me. But now looking back, I see that he showed me how tough this child is.
Mhm.
Because I would have just wanted to stay home and deal with my illness at home and not be out in front of people. She never let that stop her. She never missed a Sunday morning service. She never missed an event that she was signed up to do. Yeah, she didn't sleep on Saturday nights because she worried about being sick on Sunday morning and being able, not so much being sick. I remember the day she came to me and she was upset because she was afraid she wasn't going to be able to do what God called her to do. And I reassured her that all she has to do is show up and God will make sure the rest is done.
That's right.
And no matter how bad she felt, and I didn't realize how sick she was until now looking back,
Right.
because she kept some things from me. You know, for several months I didn't realize how sick she was, and everybody else was noticing weight loss and other things that was going on with her, but I see that God has made her a stronger person through all this, and if not her, me.
Right.
Because there were many moments where I would talk with her and question, how can Satan, why is he squelching what God has given her? And she would always say to me, Mom, quit giving him the credit. She said, it's all going to work out. She said, no matter how, and this was very touching for me coming from a child of her age. And she looked at me one day and she said, Mom, no matter how this turns out, I know God's got my back and I'm taken care of. So watching her grow, not only in her faith, in her confidence, and in her ministry, I know God has taken her to this point. And I know he'll continue to lead her. I'm just blessed that she could have gone any avenue with her music, and she has chosen to do it for the Lord. And I'm blessed on that part because, yeah, she could go any avenue. And many people have mentioned different avenues, and it's her, not me. It's her. She's the one who says, no, I'm doing this for God. And that's what she wants to do. And I just can't imagine what he has in store for her in the future. But I'm very grateful for where she's at right now.
I am too. I am very grateful. I really, just hearing your testimony, and I know you prefer that mom and dad talk for you, but, you were sharing, when you get comfortable, you do share, and you talk a little bit more with us, which is great, but I think that was one of the things that was really impressed me, that, you were talking about, when you and I were talking, we were talking about competition, and you and I were talking about her illness, and she's just like, hey guys, I got this figured out, it's God, and we're like, oh my goodness, I'm like, man, she's doing great in competitions, I'm like, oh my gosh, she's been ill, but she's like, hey, I don't know why you guys are getting all excited, this is all laid out for me, and that has really impressed me with you, that you have stand and continue to stand firm, that God is your foundation, and so everything that you do going forward, and even leading up to this point, I think that you have been really standing on God, and on his word, and that's really impressive for someone at your age to be so grounded in the word and grounded in your faith, and I think that's fabulous. So I think great things are going to be happening for you. So now, do you usually sing by yourself, right? Do you use tracks? Do you usually accompany yourself on the piano, or do you have a variety of things that you do? Or
I like it better to accompany myself on the piano.
Okay.
Just because I can do, if I mess up, then I'm like, I can do whatever.
That's right. You can.
And it just leads me into, you can go longer, you can do as many verses as you want, you can do what God wants you to do. And I think, soundtracks, yeah, they're good, but
Right.
I just like doing it.
You like
I like feeling that I have control, with
working with the Spirit and letting it lead what you're doing. I think that's good. I think that's what I noticed as well, that you were really, when you're up there, and I know we all get nervous, believe me, I still do too, but what really impressed me was that you weren't worried about who was sitting there listening to you. As I was watching you, it was you and God, and that's the way it should be, is that, you just let the Spirit lead what you're doing, and that's what I felt that I was seeing and feeling from you. I could feel the Spirit as you, even as we were listening to this song, I think I was about ready to get excited because I could feel the spirit. And I know when I've watched you play more than one time that it's about that. It's about doing what God wants you to do, and that's what you're doing when you're sitting at the piano. You weren't worried about that we were sitting here waiting for you, or that the camera was on. It was just you and God, and you were singing for His praise, and that's really impressive. So I'm really excited about that. So I saw you recently, your mom shared some video. You do a Christmas program, and I think you were telling me that it's something that you do every year.
Yes.
Okay, so why don't you tell me about what the program is and what it benefits and your part that you play in this?
All right. So Once Upon a Christmas is what it's called. It's more of a kind of musical type thing.
Okay.
But she writes a new story every year. So it's a lot of fun doing it because we're a giant family. It's just
So all the people that are
Yes.
involved in it.
all the
you
people
become-
involved in it. It's just there's acting, there's singing, there's dancing. It's just so awesome because you just get so much out of it, and all the people out there get the message too with it.
Yeah, she, the director and writer, producer, she makes sure that it has a message,
It has God
and she always brings
she
God.
wants to bring people up.
Wonderful. Now you do this every year with her?
Yes,
Okay.
I started on the third year that they started doing it.
Okay.
So I've been doing it for, I think this was my fourth year.
Okay, wow.
But
And it's in
yeah.
Zanesville, Ohio, is that where it takes place? Okay.
That's Seacrest
Yes,
Auditorium.
and it benefits Christ Table.
Okay, and what is Christ Table? Tell us what that is.
That's the local Zanesville ministry for outreach to homeless and so forth. They have meals there every day. And
Okay.
Mhm.
Now,
Take care.
they're open all year round, right,
Yes.
the Christ
Yes.
Table? And this event we're talking about takes place at Christmas time?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay, okay,
All of the proceeds go to it. It's
Okay,
a
so-
nonprofit show, and all of the ticket sales go straight to Christ Table.
festival. So obviously something that's near and dear to your heart if you're now doing it, what,
Yes.
4 years is what you just told me?
Yes.
Okay, so you'll probably be involved in it next year
Yeah,
as well?
yes.
Okay, so we'll be hearing more about that, I'm sure then.
Yeah.
Okay, great, okay, so I know you sang, and I think you had an angel costume on, is that what your part was?
Angelic dress, I
And-
guess.
Should I ask your siblings if you're the angel that we saw on stage?
I think you
No, no.
should. I think you should.
No, this year I acted this year and I was actually a pirate, so.
Oh, wow. Okay.
Lazy
I was
pirate.
fun.
Lazy pirate.
Yeah,
She
yeah,
made a
yeah.
really good lazy pirate.
Got a little experience in that being a teenager, right?
Yes, and of course it was fun
Exactly.
doing it with my brother, of course,
there you
too.
go, there you
So
go.
we just kind of fed off of each other there.
Yeah, it's like being at home, right?
Yeah,
That's all
exactly.
you have to- Okay,
Exactly.
good. All right, awesome. So it sounds like you've got a lot going on. You are starting to take some bookings, because obviously I booked you for some of the events that I host. Okay, I'm gonna ask Mom, because I think she's manager in that area of the ministry.
Yes, she is.
Learning.
Learning. Okay, so Mom, tell us how, if we want to book Kendra to sing at our event or our church service, and she's available anywhere across the country. We're
Yes.
probably staying within the states right now, right?
I think that'd be best.
Okay, good.
Oh,
But
yeah.
how can they reach Kendra? And of course, they'll do
Go
that
through
through
me.
you.
Yes, through me.
okay.
My number is 740-683-7074.
Okay,
Call me, text me, or you can reach me through my email,
okay.
mrkent385@gmail.com.
Okay, great. Now, I know social media is really big right now. Of course, a lot of the artists are using them. We're just getting this ministry started, so we don't have social media up and running just yet. So the best way to reach you is via your phone number or your email.
Yes.
And then we'll go from there as far as getting in contact with them. Or you can contact me as well, Violet Maynard, and I'll make sure that you get in touch with them. So I tell you what, this has been wonderful for me to sit down. We've got to know each other a little better.
Yes.
Got Kendra where she's feeling more comfortable talking. I'm looking that God is going to do just fabulous things with your ministry as a family. I know Dad keeps the boys away, drives the
That's right.
vehicle, gets them where they need to be. And again, Michelle, if you will give us one more time those contact numbers so that they can reach you to book Kendra for their events.
Sure. It's 740-683-7074, or email mrkent385@gmail.com.
Okay. We'll just wrap it up here real quickly, Kendra. Or Mom, Dad, Michelle, Larry, have anything that you would like to share that God has laid on your heart regarding your ministry, or if you would like to give encouragement for someone else, especially considering how this ministry was birthed? Anybody want to share that with us?
I don't know if anybody's mentioned I know on part of your social media you have the ministry one song at a time. How's that?
Spreading God's love, one song at a time.
Okay, so that's your ministry motto.
That's the
Yes.
motto.
Okay, share that with us one more time.
Spreading God's love, one song at a time.
And your phone number one more time.
740-683-7074.
Okay, this is the Kendra Kent Ministry along with her mom and dad, Larry and Michelle. We hope that you will check them out, and we look forward to seeing you next time on the Violet Maynard Show.